What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Big Les. That's right, that dancing girl. And you are watching Myths Exposed on Unique Access. Now, the myth I want to expose to you guys is my truth, but I found out that it's probably not true for a lot of other people in this industry, but you've heard about it, and it's called the casting couch. Well, for me, in my world, it is true. I remember the first time I auditioned, I was in New York City, I was fresh out of college, I was hungry, I'm trying to get into the game, I'm looking through Backstage in this newspaper which has all the auditions, and I find one that's looking for like cheerleaders and dancers for this huge recording group to perform for a radio station. So I get down to the audition, and there's a bunch of girls in the room, and of course, you know, they bring us in like a bunch of cattle like they usually do. And of course, I do a couple of backflips, and the guy's like, yeah, you're the shit. But come here, let me talk to you for a second. Now, mind you, homie's about 300 pounds. Not to say that weight means anything, but you kind of start to get a little creeped out. He's sweating. I'm giving you a visual. He's sweating. He's kind of like, yeah, come here. No, come over here. So I could kind of be out of the way of anybody else seeing where I'm at. And he's like, so how bad do you want this job? And I was like, I want the job really bad. What are you saying? And he's like, well, I can meet you after this audition and we can talk about it further. And I'm like, I did just do a couple of backflips, right? Wasn't I better than some of the girls in the room? That's not what I'm talking about, though. I can make you the head. The head what? You know, you could be leader of the pack, and I got other projects coming in, you know. You just kind of hit me off and I got you covered. I'm gonna take your career to new heights. And I was like, you must be out your fucking mind. Talk about a girl who doesn't normally want to curse. Cursed him out all kinds of New York ways. But don't you know my phone rang the next day and I got the job? Now the decision was on me whether I was actually going to go back and take it. But I was hungry, I was starving, I wanted to get in. It was for a big group, it was big exposure. And I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I stood my ground to him. Because me doing that gig got me so many business cards. I did backflips all across this huge room. I have business cards. I got called to do an LL Cool J video. It was crazy. But I kind of knew my antennas was up after that. And I'm thinking, all right, I see I got to come into this game kind of like standing my ground and really letting people know that I don't have to get on my knees and suck dick just to really like take things to the next level. I work hard, I get up at the crack of dawn, I'm in the gym before everybody else, I can really dance, I can really do gymnastics. Like, how bad do I want this? And in the back of my mind, I gotta say to myself, make sure you do stuff so that your mother is not disgusted with you, so that she doesn't write you out the will, change the locks on the door, or anything like that. Of course, when you have those values, you kind of always keep that in the back of your mind. Plus, you don't want to piss your grandmother off. Like, I got strong women in my family, so I got to keep the legacy going. I remember another time being on a tour bus with one of your favorite hip hop artists, and he and his whole crew were grimy. Now, they took care of us. They took care of the dancers. We were family, but we were exposed to everything. Now, I hear all the time when people call chicks bitches and hoes, and everybody wants to get upset. But when you're on the road and you see girls who think that they're going to be the next Mrs. So-and-so or the next Mrs. whoever, or mothers pimping their daughters, trying to get them ahead so that they can either get knocked up or have a kid by them, or, you know, just so that they can say that I've been hanging out with so-and-so and I took so-and-so to bed. Well, I've seen backstage girls who were trying to get on as whether dancers or background singers. And I've seen the artists or the artist crew say, yeah, come on the bus, audition for me. And then I've seen girls get on their knees and audition without having to sing a word, without having to dance a 5, 6, 7, 8. And don't you know, they may have even taken a bus to the next city, and we would stop at like a truck stop. And I've seen bitches left at the truck stop, never called again for a job. So that whole thing about the casting couch is a real deal, but there's no guarantee that whether you think you are the best on your knees or the best with your legs up in the air, that that's gonna get you the job. So you gotta make sure that you're going in headstrong, that you're confident about your skill, and that you are the word no or the big finger and keep it moving, and that you're not afraid to like say no to a job. If it's meant for you, it's gonna come back to you.